Did you know that every night your brain launches a life simulation program, and that in dreams, time in your mind can speed up by 20 times? It is true. In this episode, we share the most fascinating facts about sleep. Every night, while you sleep, your brain goes through a real cleanup. In 2013, scientists conducted an experiment observing the brain of a sleeping mouse. They saw how the spaces between the cells expanded and the flow of cerebrospinal fluid increased, washing toxins out of the brain 160% faster than during the day. Most importantly, during sleep, the brain clears out beta amyloid protein. Its buildup blocks the work of nerve cells and leads to Alzheimer's disease. This means that quality sleep is your natural daily protection against dementia, and lack of sleep literally poisons your brain from within. Have you noticed how a sleeping cat or dog sometimes has eyes moving under its eyelids? At that moment, the animal is in the rapid sleep phase and is dreaming. The same happens with humans. When our eyes move, we are seeing dreams. And the most interesting thing is that eye movements in sleep are not random. Back in the 1960s, scientists proved that we actually follow objects in our dreams. If a person dreams of talking to a friend, horizontal eye movements are recorded. If someone dreams of climbing onto a roof, the eyes move vertically. Why does this happen? One scientific theory says that during sleep, we run a simulation of life. For example, in infants, rapid sleep makes up 50% of all sleep time, and the baby's brain runs basic life programs in idle mode to develop the nervous system, especially the visual cortex, while the child is not yet able to explore the world with their eyes. Another interesting fact about sleep is connected to the flow of time. Have you ever felt that a lot of time passed in a dream, but in reality you only napped for a few minutes? Yes, your brain really can speed up time. In an experiment, scientists recorded the brain activity of a mouse while it was memorizing the path through a maze. Each turn was marked by its own electrical signal, like a beep. Later, when the mouse fell asleep, its brain began to replay this route to strengthen the memory. And this replay of beeps was 6 times faster, and in some cases, even 20 times faster. That is why our brain can process hours of memories in just a few minutes while we sleep. Long ago, people described cases when someone woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, unable to move, as if a terrible demon was sitting on their chest. But in fact, there is nothing mystical here. Scientists call these cases sleep paralysis. The point is that during the dreaming phase, your brain deliberately paralyzes all the muscles, so you do not run around the room acting out your dream. Only the muscles of the eyes, the heart, and the diaphragm keep working. Sometimes it happens that a person wakes up, the mind switches on, but the signal to turn on all the muscles of the body is delayed. For a few seconds, this creates the feeling of suffocation, because only the diaphragm is working while the intercostal muscles that help with breathing are still paralyzed. Breathing becomes harder, and the brain, in panic, creates the image of frightening demons. In reality, there is no mysticism here at all, only pure physiology, and this state lasts just a few seconds. By the way, do you think sleep always requires the whole body? Tell that to frigate birds. These birds can fly for weeks without landing. How? They sleep right in the air, switching off one hemisphere of the brain at a time. This phenomenon is called local sleep. Interestingly, it also happens in humans. Sleepwalking is a vivid example when the part of the brain responsible for movement wakes up while consciousness does not. That is why a person can walk around and do things but remember nothing in the morning. And even when a tired parent automatically mumbles a bedtime story to their child without following the plot, that too is a form of local sleep because part of the parent's brain is already asleep at that moment. Historians say that many great people slept only 4 hours a night. Most likely, this is only half true. Perhaps they could push themselves for a short time to deal with important matters, but later they still caught up on sleep. But here is a scientific fact. You can actually store up sleep. In one study, a group of people was divided into two. The first group was allowed to sleep 8 to 9 hours every night for a week, while the second group slept as usual, about 6 to 7 hours. Then, for the next week, both groups were limited to just 4 hours of sleep per night. The group that had stored up sleep showed much better results in attention tests and recovered faster after the week of sleep restriction. So if you know a tough week is ahead, it really does make sense to sleep longer on the weekend. It will be a smart investment in your productivity afterward. Which of these facts amazed you the most? Or maybe you have experienced sleepwalking or sleep paralysis yourself. Share it in the comments and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss new fascinating stories.